was either going to say that. It's not recording.
Yeah. But so Shannon paid for this very expensive like page training. And it's really good. Even if you're not going to use it for the like page, the first 3 modules talk about social media posts and how to tell your story and how to add value and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things they have you do is figure out who your avatar is. And so I was not a game person before, but an avatar is just like someone who, your ideal customer, basically. And so I've heard this the whole time coaching, but I never really took time because I was like, oh, my ideal person, you know, is like similar to me. And I know who that is. So I just never took the time to really do it. But they get really specific. And so one of the things I really like that they said is a brand that tries to please everyone pleases no one, which is very true. That's kind of what I've been trying to do. Like there's this guy that keeps talking to me about ab workouts, and I've been trying to help him, but why? I don't know how to help a guy. I don't want to help him. Like I'm not really interested in being in our challenge group, but I try to help him because he's asking me questions. And Brian's like, he's hitting on you. I think that's dumb. I have a husband and like 2 little kids who would want that, but he's like, no, he's hitting on you. But I mean, I try when I write a post for my first couple of years, I would omit things because I would think, well, that might exclude working moms, or that might exclude people who don't care about mom things, or I don't know, because I'm a mom. That's what I do. I stay home with kids all the time. That's what I think about. I'm always afraid of excluding people. But what they're saying is don't worry about that. You want to attract people who are like you. And so then I was thinking, well, most of my team is not like exactly like me or my avatar, but that's okay. They say like answer these questions. So I put together this PowerPoint, share my screen. Okay, so it was actually a really good video, and so I'm gonna post in our team page the login if you guys want to look at it. I'm just gonna make this bigger because I don't know how to view it from there. Oh, slideshow. Okay, from beginning. So, creating your avatar, a brand that tries to please everyone pleases no one. So I've been trying to do that again. I would post the 21-day fixes on sale because the 21-day fix works for everyone. But I'm not worried about helping everyone. We're worried about helping people who we're going to get along with, who we want in our groups, right? So, and I took this straight from the videos. So your avatar is your target market. This is another thing that I was thinking. So this goes along with my confidence stuff. I don't know if you guys struggle with confidence, but you are not the company or the products. You're you. So there's lots of coaches out there. This is something they said that was really good. Why should someone come to you over another coach? Because they relate to you. Something about your story resonates with them. How do they know your story? Because you're posting about it and you're talking to them. So when you're making your post, you're thinking about this person that we're going to create, and that's who you're talking to. And so you want the people that you want in your challenge groups and on your team to look at your post and your story and get it, you know. And it's like I think I've said it to Jenny a lot of times. We don't need to help everyone, just the people that are like us. So there are people out there who need to hear your story. So they might have heard it from Shailene Johnson or Autumn, or they might have seen it like from other coaches, but it doesn't click for them because they can't relate to those people, but they can relate to you, and they need to hear your story from you, the way that you tell it, and they need to hear the way that you encourage them. You're the only one that can help them get it, if that makes sense. So many people want to be in shape, right? They want to be healthy, but they don't. Why? Because they don't have the support. They don't have their person yet that can help them do it. So that is really encouraging, because I often look at other coaches and think, well, why would they? So Melanie Mitro runs all these coach sneak peeks, and I'm always afraid to add coaches to her group because I think, well, if they go into her sneak peek, they're not going to pick me. They're going to just be like, oh, well, I'm going to have Melanie as my coach instead. That's such a bad confidence thing, right? But no, there's a reason why people are talking to you and reaching out to you and following you. And so we have to figure out who our perfect person is. So you prefer to interact with a specific type of person, and a specific type of person prefers to interact with you, and that's who you are targeting. So Beachbody works for a lot of people, and I already talked about this. There's a lot of coaches. You have to figure out what's your niche, what makes you different, and what makes you you, and what works for you and why. So if you add a quality to your avatar but you can't answer why, then you have to either take it away or dig deeper. So don't add a quality to the perfect person just because you think, well, they'd make a good challenger. You have to have a reason why for it. So here's common mistakes. Don't target people that are just easy. So like a lot of times when we're thinking about our perfect person, they don't have problems. They're ready to say yes right now because they are so excited to get started. How often do we run into that? Never. Always people are afraid. They are defensive. They think that Beachbody is a scam, right? So but that's the person when I would think about my ideal person, I would think, oh, well, she wants to get in shape. No, think about who you were before. I wasn't going to work out before this. I've never worked out before trying Beachbody, and I didn't want to either. I would take the dogs for a walk, and that was the extent of it. That's the person who I'm thinking about when I'm posting, or who I should be. That's not what I've been doing. I need to get better at that. So looking at top coaches are where you are now versus where you were when you started. That's what I was just talking about. We like to make posts about where we are now, but the person we're talking to isn't where we are now. They're where we were before we started getting healthy. So think about before you started working out and eating right. How did you feel? What was your attitude towards health and fitness? What was your attitude towards fit people? And try to speak to those people. Another common mistake, forgetting that these are real people. They're just not. So I was laughing because I went to one of Shannon's team get-togethers, and I had never met most of the coaches on our team in real life before. So I walk into the room and I felt like it was just a room full of floating Facebook profiles. And it was weird to see, oh, these are real people. But that we forget that, when we're making all these friends on Facebook, they're real people. Yes, they have these profiles, but they're real. And that's what we're trying to do when we build the relationships. Our job is to help them solve a problem. So there's a reason they're interested in your story. They look at you and they are wanting to do something that you're doing, whether it's eating healthy, cooking, working out. Becky, your story is awesome because you've been working with this injury for a year and you've not given up. Think about how many people have injuries way less severe than yours and gave up way earlier. That's a pretty incredible story. I would talk way more about that. And you did tonight. Your post tonight was really good. What was that?
I feel like people get tired of hearing about it.
No,
not at all. In fact,
my mother-in-law, she actually, every time she gets at least a little bit sore even, she automatically gives up because she's either injured herself or she thinks she's injured herself, and she always gives up right away.
Yeah, that's how most people are. Not even injuring, but I did the first day of the 21-day fix and I'm sore, so I can't work out for 3 days. But then they log in and say, oh, well, Becky's still working out and she's got 13 screws in her ankle. What's my excuse? That's what I would be thinking.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's a really powerful story. Being too broad, that has been my biggest mistake, is I will write a post talking to the people I want to target, but then I take stuff out because I think, well, I don't want to exclude people, or I don't want to be offensive. One of my big things is I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I'm talking to people who also want to be a stay-at-home mom or who already are. And so I'll think about posts like the picture I posted tonight of me and Devin. One of my favorite things about coaching is I get to stay at home. But I'm so afraid that I'm going to offend my working mom friends by saying that's my favorite thing, because there's nothing wrong with people who go to work, just like there's nothing wrong with people who stay at home. But I'm so worried that people who like working are going to look at that and think like, well, does she think working moms are bad? I need to stop worrying about that, because I'm wanting to talk to people who want to stay at home, because that's something that I wanted, if that makes sense to you guys.
Yes.
Oops, go forward. There we go. All right, so then this was a really powerful picture because, again, when I was watching this video in my mind, I was thinking that I had this great avatar. Well, really, mine was the middle one. So they showed the company avatar. This is just like who Beachbody typically gets as customers, age 25 to 44, the countries, the typical income, and they're married, typically parents. So then this middle one is how most Beachbody coaches think with their avatar. It's very broad. Like some put a favorite color just because they think it narrows it down. Well, why is their favorite color purple? If you can't answer it, it's either not a great thing to have in there, or you need to dig deeper on why their favorite color is purple. Like all of these are very general. Loves traveling. Who doesn't like traveling? So that was one of my big ones. Oh, well, I love traveling. I don't get to travel very much, but well, we do because we go and visit family, but I feel like that doesn't count. Like I want to travel for real and go fun places. But everyone loves traveling. Like everyone, for the most part, will identify with that middle person. So what you really want to do, this thing keeps getting in the way, is really narrow it down and come to the whys. So you can specify, they say your age, subtract or add 10 years to each end. So like find their specific job. What are their problems? What do they feel like? What are the problems they've had in the past? What have they had to overcome? What are their actual struggles? Because they do have problems. Like when we think about our ideal person doesn't have problems, but we need to think about what their problems are and how they feel. So this activity is really good. I'm going to post the slides so you don't have to write these down or anything, but go through and answer these questions for your perfect person, and then go through and answer these questions for someone who you can't stand. And that's who you are attracting, and then that's like the other way is the people that you don't really want. And so for this like page training, you can put exclusions in when you're doing your like page, and so that's why they do the person you can't stand. And if you do the like page training, this is a really good exercise. But so I came up with my avatar. Well, the girl doing the video was brilliant. I thought that was such a good idea. I still haven't done it, but she made an avatar, and she gave her a name. She wrote a bio for her. She wrote her likes, her personal qualities, and she found a picture, which she used a picture of one of the teen moms. I don't know which one, but she liked the teen mom, so she just used her because she was her perfect person. And then she put this as her screensaver on her computer. And so she's always reminded, always has it in her face of who she's talking to when she's making her posts. And she always asks herself, does this post speak to the people that I want in my challenge groups and who I want on my team? Is this post relevant to them? Would my person care about this post? So I've just typed in to Google, mom with young kids. And so I liked this picture a lot because she is not done up. She's natural looking. She's wearing normal clothes. Whoops. I need to go back. Previous. So the other two that I found are top Beachbody coaches, and their avatars are way different than mine. But she's like wearing regular clothes. She's got kids hanging on her, and she appears to be outside. So that's who I'm talking to. And I wrote likes. My very top one is eating. That's what I love. That's my favorite thing to do is eat. And I have gotten better about talking about it, but I'm afraid to talk about how I love eating so much because I don't want to repel people or make people think that, I eat too much. It's just dumb, but I need to talk about eating because I want to attract other people who like to eat. That's what I like. Being active, being outside, bike riding, hiking, swimming, fun activities, horseback riding. I don't horseback ride, but it's something I would like to do. So I put things in like qualities that I would also like to do, like traveling. I don't really do it that much, but I would like to. Horseback riding, we're kind of getting into because Jack's taken a liking to it. And based on how he's diagnosed, our insurance might cover it, which would be incredible. Crafts, organizing, education. I'm getting into homeschooling stuff a lot, drinking wine and martinis. I love doing that. I don't talk about that much because, again, like I don't want people to think, that I'm being unhealthy, but I need to share that stuff more. Cooking, baking, caring for a family, watching Netflix. My favorite thing in the whole world is when Brian, I can hear him like shaking the ice to make a martini, and I know that we're going to get to watch The Office and I'm going to get to drink a martini. It's my favorite part of the day. So I need to talk about that. I haven't made a post about that. Personal qualities, hardworking, servant heart, believes in God, homebody. All these people, like I've always wanted to be a cool person that goes out and has all these cool friends. That's in theory. In reality, I want to sit in my sweatshirt in my bed watching Netflix, drinking my homemade cheap martini. Like that's what I want to do for real. And I see all these people doing these fun going out things and I think their life is so cool. But when I'm doing that, I'm just looking at the clock like, have I stayed long enough? Can I go home and watch Netflix now? So that's who I'm talking to. Nervous in new social situations, lacks confidence, loyal, good sense of humor, introvert. So you want to think about all their qualities, not just their good ones, but the things they struggle with. Because the struggles are what is going to get them interested in a challenge group, because you want to help them solve a problem. So then you want to write out their bio. So who is this person? Really dig into them. She's a busy mom of young kids who's married or in a serious relationship. She dreams of a life of freedom without financial stress that includes real vacations and fun activities without the worry of money. So there's like some struggles there. Does she worry about money? Coaching. Like I'm interested in other people who want that financial freedom because that's what I want so much. That's what's got me interested into like the business side of coaching is I see the potential. And if you can help people while earning a paycheck, how awesome is that? So that's who I'm trying to talk to. She wants more time with her husband and downtime alone. She's in debt, always feeling behind in all areas of life and unseen. So I spent a lot of time talking about what she struggles with because I've not focused on that before. She often feels like she doesn't matter. She feels invisible to everyone around her unless something is needed. How many women feel like that? And like as I'm writing this bio, it's just all these post ideas are coming because I need to talk to this person more. And I don't. All I do is post like my food pictures, my workout pictures with my motivation, which is good, but that stuff's very surface compared to talking to someone, like speaking to their struggles. She feels guilty for feeling this way. I talk about mom guilt a lot because mom guilt sucks. My mother-in-law always says that guilt is just part of having estrogen, which is true. She struggles with depression, anxiety, confidence, and guilt. God is important to her, but she doesn't know how to be more spiritual. She craves close friendships, but doesn't know how to budget the time for them. So like, think about the things they struggle with. They don't have money? They don't have time. What do they want in life? She plans to homeschool her kids or be very active in their education. She enjoys watching Netflix. So my cousin, I love my cousin. She's awesome. But she's so different from me. She has got her 3-year-old in a private preschool that's costing $17,000 a year. I said $1,000 a year. 17,000. Like, how insane is that? That's not the kind of person I'm talking to, because I cannot relate to someone that would make that choice. Like, obviously I relate to her because she's my cousin. I grew up with her. I love her. Like, I know her better than anyone. But her friends, I don't get them at all, because they all do that kind of stuff. That's not the person I'm trying to talk to. And with the old way I used to do this, I would try to like just talk to everyone and try to understand everyone. So I guess that's my point I'm trying to get across, is people that you cannot relate to, don't worry about them. You want to get the people that you can relate to, because you're going to be able to help them better, because you're going to understand their struggles because you've been there, or you've been in a similar place like that. I will never be in a place where I'm homeschooling. I'm making a calendar out of an old cardboard box because I don't want to buy one. Like, I'm not going to spend, and obviously education's important. I'm not saying the message it's not, but I mean, you guys know what I mean, because you're my people, right? So, she enjoys watching Netflix, going out to eat, drinking wine and martinis. She never buys anything, including clothes, for herself. So one of the things they keep saying in this avatar is, where do they shop? What brands do they like? I don't know. I don't buy anything ever. That's not a problem. I put that. So the clothes I wear are things that have either been handed down to me from, like, my aunt used to give me a lot of stuff, or my mom buys me stuff at Christmas. Those are the clothes I wear. And I just got really lucky that my mom buys things that I like. So, but I don't have brands really. So think about you. What brands do you like? And if you don't shop, don't count that as a problem. But I kept thinking that's a problem. I would make up things. Like, I would put in brands that I would think. I had Nordstrom's in my page likes. Why? I would never feel comfortable even going into a Nordstrom's. Have you been in a I feel like a homeless person being in there, even when I'm dressed nicely, because it's Nordstrom's. They have couches everywhere. Who sits down when they're shopping? Like, so why did I put Nordstrom's in there? Because I thought, oh, well, people that shop at Nordstrom's, they might have extra money to spend on themselves. But I don't relate to those people. So don't worry about that stuff. She never buys anything for herself. If there's room in the budget, she'd rather do something like eat. That's what I decided finally. When I get money for my birthday, I don't buy something. I go out to eat. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. So I thought, instead of putting in clothing brands, restaurants, I will spend money on fancy cheese, but I will not buy a $50 shirt. Like, I would never do that. But I would spend money on cheese and wine and like a nice dinner. So think about the things that you love and what you would do if you had extra money. What places would you go? What books do you read? Because your people are going to be into the same stuff. So that's my avatar. This is another example. So this is the girl that did the training. This is her avatar. So dancing, fashion, hair, shopping. So this is not someone that I would relate to at all, but this is her person. Personal qualities, Christ follower, outgoing, funny, and they just kind of made the picture. So she has the picture, she's got the likes, the personal qualities. This is another really popular coach. And again, they named the person, so I thought that was weird at first, but it makes sense because you're targeting this specific person. So think about, this is the person you're talking to when you're writing your posts. But they notice how in-depth it is. They go into what job do they have? Where do they work? What specific job do they have? What's their family composition? Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? Are they married, single? And I like how she put in, is she worried Shakeology is a scam? I read so much about not Shakeology specifically. I read about the ingredients. I read about coaching a lot before I started. Is this a scam? Is it a pyramid company? What specifically is a pyramid scheme? I did a lot of reading before that. So think about, if you're wanting to add coaches to your team, what are their fears? And make those posts. So they always say address objections publicly. So if you're getting a lot of people saying that's too expensive, are you writing posts about the value of the challenge pack? And I wouldn't say, because we're doing the curiosity marketing thing too, I wouldn't say like, the challenge pack costs this much money, this is what you get. I used to do that stuff. People don't want to see that because it's like a Beachbody billboard. Instead, I would talk about the value that you're getting. So I get to work out at home with my own personal trainer whenever I want. My personal trainer comes to me when I want. Or talk about like, not necessarily Shakeology, but saying, you know, I talk about all the time. So we do Shakeology for dinner now. I don't have to cook a meal later in the day when the boys are a disaster. I don't have to clean up a meal. It's quick. It's not heavy. Like these all could be individual posts. So talk about the value. I've talked before about like how expensive a gym is and how I'm glad that I like don't have to pay that monthly fee. I don't know. I'm trying to think of posts off the top of my head, but if you have objections, talk about them publicly. Sarah and I were talking this morning about like that comment. I don't know, Becky, if you saw that. That was like a couple months ago. Somebody had wrote a really mean comment on one of my posts. It's actually the only one I've ever gotten, but he said I was pandering. And so I made a live video addressing that. They post in the team page and Desire to Inspire all the time negative comments. And everyone's like, oh, unfriend them, block them, whatever. I actually love negative and I don't get negative comments. Like the one, Sarah, that you got was mean, just flat out mean. I would have blocked her. But like I have this guy, he's kind of my heckler. His name is Lance. And he's always writing stuff. Like I posted a picture of Jack drinking Shakeology when he was sick. And I said, at least he's getting some good nutrients while he's sick and he can't eat anything. And Lance wrote, well, I wonder what else you're putting in it because Shakeology doesn't really have anything in it. And so that's an opportunity for me to address this objection. I said, well, what do you mean? Because it's got all this stuff in it. And he posted a picture of like this label that only had 3 ingredients. And he said, oh, this is what I was looking at. Well, I shot him down publicly. Everyone got to see that. So I'm off on a tangent now. But basically, like, think about what your person is struggling with, what they are. So if they're considering doing a challenge group, what are they afraid of? If they think it's too expensive, why do they think it's too expensive? Or are they not seeing the value in it? If they're considering coaching, what are their fears on that? Make your posts kind of align with this perfect person. But so don't try to talk to everyone. I'm hoping that this helped. I went through those questions and I answered them, and I came up with, I really take time doing that too, with those questions. So do you guys have any questions on this? Was it helpful?
That's extremely helpful.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'll be
I have to make this my screensaver. I never see my screen because I always have 5,000 things open at once. But I like that she always has it in her face of the person she's talking to. So I like that idea. What do you think, Becky?
So that's not really her.
No, so like, well, this girl is her. She just made this, but this is her person. So that's a girl from Pretty Little Liars.
Okay, I thought she looked familiar.
Yeah, so you can pick a celebrity. I just Googled a mom with young kids and picked the picture that I liked the best. You can pick someone in real life that is your perfect person and just have that as your picture. I thought that'd be weird if that person came over and like saw their, because I thought, oh, my friend Crystal, she would be a good one to put on. But then I was like, I wouldn't want to have to explain to her why she's on my screensaver if she came over. So,
Gotcha.
but I would definitely, I'm going to post the information for that like page training. Even if you're not going to do a like page, the first couple of modules are really good, talking about, they're just all these videos on how to tell your story, how to add value, how to develop relationships. So I'll post that tonight. How are you guys doing with everything else?
Pretty good. I actually have 2 challengers for this next one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm mostly excited about the one continuing. That's, like a vote of confidence. I feel like when they choose to continue with it.
Yeah. What program is she doing next?
I asked her that today, actually, if she was going to continue doing PIO or if she wanted to try something else. So I'm waiting for her to respond still.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Becky, how's it going getting back on track?
Not really going.
Is it just everything you feel like you're off track on, or just coaching stuff?
Yeah, no, my whole life is just crazy, and I have to get used to this new normal, but I don't want this to be normal. So
Yeah.
it's just a tough phase.
Yeah. Talk about that. Talk about share whatever you're comfortable sharing, but talk about the fact that it's tough, and then talk about why you're still doing it. Because you have a why. That's why you've stayed in it for this long. And I talk about that, the importance of having a why, because you probably wouldn't have stuck with it if you didn't have this reason why you wanted to keep going. There's a ton of really, so when you're struggling, that's what so I'm struggling big time right now, but I'm not willing to share what I'm struggling with. So you guys know, because I shared with you, Jack's in the process of being labeled. And then I'm pretty sure you guys know our first child was stillborn. And so it was a girl, and I've got 12 months, like 0 to 12 months of clothing. So 10 boxes. And my sister-in-law just found out she's pregnant with a girl. It's her 4th baby, 3 boys, and the 4th one's a girl. And I always knew if she had a girl, I'd give her those clothes. So I'm having to go through those. And so this stuff's happening at the same time. And I'm not sad about Jack, but I'm dealing with learning how to help him the best. And just like those 2 things. So that's why I feel like right now my social media is not well, because I'm not talking about what I'm thinking about all the time. But if you're willing to share what you're struggling with, that's helpful. I'm not giving you guys good advice because I'm not doing what I should be doing, but I'm not willing to share Jack's story because it's not mine. And I cannot talk about the clothes because I don't want my sister-in-law to feel bad about taking them. I want her to have them. But it sucks for me to have to go through them. And I can't talk about that. So, yeah. So right now is a crappy time of life, but we will all get through our crappy times.
Yeah.
So that was another tangent, but I guess sometimes you just can't talk about the things that are bothering you. But so I'm sharing because I'm not talking about what I'm struggling with publicly. I'm talking about failing a lot and having a hard time staying on track. Because I don't really care about anything else right now except for these 2 things taking all my attention. So yeah.
That's necessary sometimes, though.
Yeah. Yep. So, but Do you guys have any questions?
Not yet. So I think that'll be my weekend project.
Yeah, I'm excited to see your guys' avatars.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think I'll let you guys go. I'll post the slides and I'll post the recording tomorrow.
Awesome.
Thanks. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.